Vince McMahon, the former disgraced owner of the WWE, who resigned from his position in January 2024 amidst sexual assault allegations against the former employee of his in Janelle Grant. Given his current situation, is it feasible for the former owner to return to WWE in the near future? But before we get into that, what's going on, guys? I am Ketch. Hope you're doing well. If you're new to the channel, I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible, so if you could hit that subscribe button, that'd be much appreciated. Also give the video a like so I know you enjoyed it, and let's get straight into it. For context, as it pertains to Vince McMahon's court case, he had an employee under the name of Janelle Grant who worked with him back in 2019 in WWE headquarters at Stamford, Connecticut. Now, Grant has accused McMahon of sexual assault and sex trafficking. Grant claims that McMahon sexually assaulted her multiple times and trafficked her to other WWE employees, one of which is the beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. And now I made a video on this specific topic a couple months back in relation to whether I thought WWE were erasing Brock Lesnar from all their history. What I'll do is I'll leave a link to that video in the description. You can watch and sort of give your thoughts on that if you prefer to do it that way. McMahon isn't the only defendant in this case. The former head of WWE talent relations, John Laurinaitis, is also a defendant, and now Laurinaitis wasn't particularly great at his job at the time he was head of talent relations. Also within these accusations, Grant alleges that McMahon assaulted her in a private locker room and an incident when he and Laurinaitis allegedly took turns assaulting her in a locked office. Now that is just wild, and I can't believe that two old men, one of which, John Laurinaitis, is actually married, would do that sort of thing. And the period it happens in is 2019, so John Laurinaitis I think is already married in this case as well, so that's just weird in general. Grant also claims she was given substantial gifts, including a $15,000 Bloomingdale gift card to keep her quiet about these assaults and allegations. McMahon had previously retired in July 2022 following revelations of multiple payouts to women alleging sexual misconduct, so he's got a track record for it, Vince. But at that point in time in 2022, it wasn't really sort of brought to the limelight, so he did return to his executive role in January 2023. However, in January 2024, it sort of blew up even more to the point where Vince he resigned from his post in WWE, but also from the board of directors at Endeavor, WWE's now parent company, who bought them out late last year. McMahon had literally returned to WWE in an executive role to sell the WWE to Endeavor as a way to keep his power. Unfortunately, these allegations came out, and now he no longer has a position of power within WWE. In WWE, Vince has always been one creepy, selfish individual when it comes to the women of WWE. There's an infamous segment on Raw with Trish Stratus where he degrades her and makes her bark like a dog, or the segment of TV when Vince hires Stacy Keibler as his personal assistant in inverted commas. Now, Stacy probably thought that this was great and she was having a great time showing off for Vince, but I guarantee deep down Vince, even though he was in the Mr. McMahon character, I guarantee deep down he was loving every bit of that segment. And it's probably just one of those things where he enjoys his own personal fetishes, and this was one of them where he could act it out on TV. There's also another segment in his life, such as his obsession with Tori Wilson's Playboy, for example, via a lie detector test, which is inherently funny and hilarious, but also does show what Vince is like under the Miss McMahon character as well. Albeit funny, it does hold some darker connotations now as that segment has aged. It's been 21 years since that segment aged, and you can tell it's quite funny viewing it multiple times, but it is a bit uncomfortable as well as some of the allegations. Obviously it's scripted at that point, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some truth to it as well. Now, whilst he is creepy and selfish, Vince also probably has a sadistic and corrupt side as well, which has come to light more and more now that these allegations that Janelle Grant has brought forward against both McMahon and John Laurinaitis. So it's Vince. He's an odd individual, creepy, sadistic, selfish. I'm not surprised. Great head for business, but personally, I wouldn't want to know him. I guess you have to look at how WWE has improved since Vince McMahon has been removed from power, and all history and memory alluding to what Vince McMahon has done has slowly been sort of swept under the rug, almost like they're doing a soft erasure of Vince McMahon from WWE history. I guess you can't fully erase him from WWE history as he's such an integral part of it, but under Triple H and the new legal team, and Endeavor being the owners of WWE now, there is a big shift in not sort of recognizing what Vince McMahon has done, like obviously recognizing superstar achievements when they were under Vince McMahon, like obviously the creation of Stone Cold, for example, but sort of WWE under Triple H have now moved away from that style of presenting. Triple H has now brought in a much better production team. The camera angles are so much more better on Raw and SmackDown. The editing as a whole is brilliant. The packaging is brilliant as a whole. WWE are actually probably the best in class when it comes to the sort of video package. But I'm just saying, creatively from a standpoint, WWE seems to be a much happier place in terms of morale, in terms of superstars being able to sort of be a bit more creative in what they want to do with their characters moving forward. And I think Triple H being in charge has really helped this. And the fact that he's got Shawn Michaels running NXT as well, his best friend, it sort of ensures a very smooth operation of things within WWE, both from a developmental perspective, but also from a main roster perspective now as well. And you can see that, you know, superstars within WWE are much more happier now. They're obviously probably a lot more paid better as well. But I think the constant overbearing nature of Vince McMahon within WWE led to a lot of superstars not wanting to negotiate their contracts and leave WWE. Like CM Punk is a great example of it. He wasn't happy with how WWE was treating him and what they wanted him to do with his creative standpoint. So he left, was away for 10 years. And Vince McMahon even fired the guy on his own wedding day. So that's so slack on CM Punk's behalf. But Triple H is a different individual. He understands business and being front of mind. He understands that concept very, very well. And look what happened. CM Punk was brought back to WWE. Fantastic pop at Survivor Series in November 2023. By having Triple H in charge of WWE, it's ensured this sort of smooth transition away from all this nastiness regarding the Vince McMahon lawsuit. It's still there while it's being investigated and talked about in courts, but I'm thinking when this is all over and whatever has happened, then I think you'll find WWE and Triple H will definitely want to distance themselves completely from Vince McMahon moving forward. That being said, Vince's daughter Stephanie, who actually left WWE under acrimonious circumstances back in 2022, was at WrestleMania 40, both the Hall of Fame and Night 2 to open the show. Now, I'm guessing if Vince McMahon had still been in charge, I don't think Stephanie McMahon would have been there. And there was a touching moment between her and Paul Heyman as well at the Hall of Fame. And the fact she's married to Triple H as well just sort of shows you that she's really putting her career with her husband first and just sort of enjoying her lifestyle as an outsider in WWE and not sort of having that overbearing nature I mentioned earlier from her father, Vince. Moving forward, WWE has a potential to go even bigger and better, and they're definitely doing so as well. And I think Triple H is the right person to lead them into this new generation, weirdly enough called the Renaissance era by a lot of people in the dirt sheets within the WWE community. Sort of summarize all this together, I think Vince McMahon is never going to return to WWE. Too much time has passed. The allegations are so serious that it almost warrants him never to come back to WWE, and I think that is probably going to be the case moving forward. And I think WWE are going to probably distance themselves and erase as much as they can of Vince McMahon in a negative sense from their product, and I think that's what Triple H will be doing for WWE moving forward. I guess also to sort of take into consideration is the fact that Vince is quite old now, so I don't think he'll be in the right state of mind either to make any decisions. In fact, he might even end up in prison for his final days as a human being on this earth. So there's that as well that he has to think about. With that all being said, I think he will be in that similar sort of position as Chris Benoit for WWE, where they just can't talk about him on TV or outside in any official capacity moving forward. So that's a sad thing considering how much Vince has done for the WWE, but it just really shows how much of a scumbag he is in his personal life. And to be perfectly honest, WWE are better off without him anyway. But that has been the end of this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. As I said at the start, if you're new to the channel, please do give it a like and a subscribe, as it really helps the channel grow, and I'm looking to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. But that has been the end of today's video, guys, and I'll see you with another video very soon.